Hello there. In this video, I want to talk about a topic that I find very interesting. How hard do you pick your guitar? Now, I'm aiming this at people that are into metal and all of its subgenres, but the contents of this video could be applied to any style of music. Firstly, I want you to tell me, how hard do you pick? Do you think you pick softly or do you pick really aggressively? Let me know in the comments. So when I used to play gigs, I didn't enjoy them. I didn't not enjoy all of them. There was the occasional one that I did enjoy playing, and I do have fond memories of playing live. But in the majority, most of the gigs that I played were uncomfortable, to say the least. And I think the core of this problem was that my right arm used to cramp up, and I never really got over this, and I didn't really even understand why it was happening. But looking back on it, I think it was a cocktail of different things. It was performance anxiety, which I have covered in a previous video, and the link's up here. Here. And it was also the fact that I was picking too aggressively. And this is something I've only actually discovered in the past 18 months, really. I've always thought that I just played the guitar the way that I played the guitar, and I didn't really think about how that would impact my level of performance. And at the crux of this problem is I just pick too hard. And if you pick too hard, you reduce the amount of stamina that you have as a guitarist. Seems really obvious, right? But it wasn't something that I considered back then. There was a certain amount of misunderstanding on my part, and it all boils down to, well, if you watch an aggressive band playing, everything looks and sounds super aggressive. So it makes sense that you would think that in order to get that sound, you do need to play really hard and really aggressive with your picking hand. Future Jim here, but how hard is hard enough? I mean, there's no way for us to measure in Newton meters, for example, how much force the guitarist in the videos that you just watched is putting into the pick as it hits the string. And this is where I misunderstood things, because I just thought that you needed to play as hard as you possibly could all of the time. And if you felt any pain, you just had to play through it. So to get that signature gong, 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 gong sound, yeah, fair enough. You do need to put a little bit of aggression behind that pick. Here's 3 examples, and I want you to see whether you can tell the difference between them. One of them, I'm playing softly. One of them, I'm playing sort of a medium strength, if you will. And then the third one, I'm playing super hard. Can you tell the difference? Right, so number 1 was the medium strength picking, number 2 was the super aggressive picking, and number 3 I was playing quite softly. Now the aggressive one, fair enough, yeah, that is pretty obvious, isn't it? But the soft and the medium, there isn't really that much to tell between the two. And I guess this is my point, that you don't need to play super aggressively all of the time. So if you're playing a song and you're starting to feel like your right arm is tensing up, it's cramping up, you're getting pains, you're probably playing too hard. That my first port of call would be, you just need to tell yourself to not pick as aggressively. And this is a process. You'll have to readjust how you play the guitar, but I promise you, if you work on this, you will increase your level of stamina. Just bring it back 15% and you will be able to play 15% longer without getting those pains. Now I try to teach my students that if you're going to play hard, there's a time and a place. So if there's something that requires that gun, 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 like this, then yeah, play a little bit harder. But if you're going to play something pretty technical like this, then you shouldn't really be playing overly hard because, well, that doesn't really fit that sound. You want that really super aggressive tone when the song and or the riff calls for it. But playing super hard in every section of a song can actually be very counterproductive. And of course, that's going to mean that you're going to introduce excess lactic acid in your picking hand and your fretting hand, because everything that you're doing is requiring the maximum amount of force with your pick. If you like what you see here, don't forget to subscribe to the 60 Seconds of Shred YouTube channel. Leave me a comment, like I said before, or just like the video. It all helps with the algorithm. Now, I might be wrong about this. If you were to think about all of the top tier kind of metal guitarists who are brilliant rhythm players, how many of them have you heard that have had problems with repetitive strain injury? Now, granted, there might be a couple, like the guitarist from Immortal had to retire because he was having problems with RSI. There was Dave Mustaine, who had carpal tunnel syndrome. How that was caused, though, I don't really know. But they're the only two, really, that I can think of, and that doesn't mean that there aren't others, it's just that I've not heard of them, who've had problems with RSI or the like. So if we just take this thought and we expand on it a little bit, if all of the guitarists in all of these aggressive sounding bands played as aggressively as they were capable of all the time, surely there would be a higher proportion of them that had problems with their muscles, their tendons, their nerves in their picking hand and arm. So in conclusion, if you're playing this style of music and your right arm is starting to get tired and it's starting to hurt, it's starting to burn, and this is happening on a regular basis, your first point of call is to ask yourself, how hard am I picking? And I bet you're picking harder than you need to. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.